here.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
My kid heard that solo.
You saying I did?
These guys are fired up. Our crew is fired up. Game one's coming your way next.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Hamilton Southeastern High School as we bring you championship boys lacrosse right here on IndianaSRN. The Royals coming in at 12-8 on the season. Culver coming in at 8-4. These two teams played recently. We'll talk about that and much more coming up in a moment. Today's game brought to you in part by IUPUI Sports Management, a lifetime of sports with a winning degree. The Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. Burtner Electric, your licensed and experienced electrician serving Central Indiana. Piper Logistics, 3 service, 1 solution. And by Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown farm equipment dealer. Great to have you with us, Troy Nergowski, Coach Keith Myers. A matchup here of two teams that are hoping to advance to the semifinals next week. These two teams met earlier this season, in fact, just a few days ago, back on May the 13th, right here at Hamilton Southeastern, and Hamilton Southeastern won that contest by a final 12-4. Coach, let's start with Culver. Only 12 games under their belt. We believe they're going to start a freshman in goal here today. They're back here once again where they were beaten once before, so now they got to find a way to turn things around here this afternoon.
Long road trip, two hours to get here. Been on the field for about 45 minutes. You could sense a little bit of nerves when you're down on the field. You go down to Southeastern, calm, cool, defending state champions. They've been here before. They understand that. Freshman is the key. Yeah. That young man, can he uphold the senior allotment that Hamilton Southeastern has? Yeah,
a lot of scores. We'll talk about Hamilton Southeastern throughout the entire matchup as you take a look at the Royals right there. They met on May 13th. It was 4-0 after the first period of play, 8-1 at the half. It pretty much gives you an idea, Coach, that if Culver's going to win here today and find a way to advance, they've got to make sure that they stop Hamilton Southeastern early.
And that's what they did against Garin Catholic last week. They jumped on them early and then maintained the pressure because that 8-9 seed was a pretty important game. So you look at this and you go, wow, this is an interesting ball game. Which team comes out hot early? Because if you're Hamilton Southeastern, you probably want to put this away after the end of one.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And have no idea, have no way for them to come back. So you'll see an offensive, if this is the first time you've seen Hamilton Southeastern, you'll see an offensive mindset of a team that can shoot goals. We have a young man that had 8 goals in one game earlier in this year. So very interesting, should be a lot of fun.
By the way, when you speak of this Culver team, you really have to talk about, in fact, we'll talk more about them in a moment. When we come back, we'll continue the pregame, get this one underway in a few moments. Stay right there. It's Indiana Boys Lacrosse right here on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
Back once again here at Hamilton Southeastern High School. We were talking a little bit about this Culver team, and they're led by George Van Petersum. Over 35 points this year. In fact, he really is the go-to guy on this team with over 23 goals this season. Keep an eye on Nathaniel Zander, 17 goals coming in. Aiden Cartmel has over 13 goals, and Jacob Chapman. So they got some guys who can score. Can they score enough? That's really the question today, because we're going to talk about this Hamilton Southeastern team, and what they've done over the last 4 games is absolutely incredible.
And especially in the first quarter. If you look at their scores in the first quarter, they are a machine. And so if you are in the game, let's say it's 6-2, 6-3, maybe feel pretty good, but you got to be in range, because once they get that offense rolling, it's like a train. You can't stop it. Yeah, in fact, when you talk about the last 4 games, this is a Royal team. They beat Westfield 14-2. We were here for that on that May the 9th, and they simply dominated that game and forced a lot of mistakes there by the Shamrocks. They go to Zionsville, win that one 10-5. That's always a good win. They beat Culver Military 12-4, and then you talk about that shutout over Fishers 20-0. They've outscored their opponents in the last 4 games, Coach, 56-11. That's a 14-3 ratio. I've been on that end as a coach, and it's not a lot of fun. I've been in the locker room where you're on that side, but being in that side, it's really tough inside to watch that. You know, Culver, what I find interesting is they've been here before, though. This program is not a fluke. They're very, very good. They know how to play this game. So it would be very interesting how they come out, how Coach attacks them, because you've already played them. You watch. I'm sure you watched that film over and over and over again this week to prepare for this ballgame.
Well, when you mention Owen O'Rourke, and we were here for that 8-goal game, he was unstoppable that night. And what was amazing about it the most was he was able to score from the left to the right, the center. It didn't really matter where he was, long distance, short distance. If they get him off to a hot start again today, they're going to be tough to stop. You're talking about a young man with 49 goals. He is one of 4 players on this team with over 20 goals. And so you pick your poison. Do you go after him and try to stop him, or are you going to try to stop Gastineau? Are you going to go after Barry? Who's it going to be?
You go back to that 8-goal game. All of a sudden the players started looking for him. Yeah. You know, down the field, they're looking because they wanted to see how many he could get done. Because I'm sure when he walked off the field, it's like, thanks, fellas. Thanks for the, way to pass up the ball. Now Brian, the videography, he would never pass the ball like that. He would just take the glory for it.
You know, and you wonder why he won't join you at halftime. I mean,
because he
sets you up like that.
He doesn't like me. That's why. Temperature 75 degrees. A very sunny day here in Indianapolis. We're glad that you joined us. By the way, before we start the broadcast, Wendy is watching Trout. Yeah, Miss Trout is watching us from Michigan. And here we go.
Yeah, face-off won by Hamilton Southeastern. Ball knocked down just inside the 12. And Culver able to disrupt that early offense by Hamilton Southeastern. Now, we were watching Culver in the warm-ups as they will now advance the ball and try to get in position the other end. But we were watching. Patrick Bice is the goalie now for, as you see a turnover there. He's the goalie now for Culver. Only a freshman, and he's facing a high-powered team, so it's going to be interesting to see how he will do here this afternoon.
They will test him very quickly.
Well, you see the Royals, and that's a penalty against the Royals right there, so they will give it back to Culver. Again, these two teams met just a few days ago, 12-4 win. Max Kemp had 5 goals, 2 assists. Owen O'Rourke had 3 goals and assist. Shane Gastineau had an assist. Gavin Berry, 2 goals and an assist as well.
And this is how you really want to play Hamilton Southeastern. It's nice, slow, and deliberate. Take some time off the clock and shorten the game, Troy.
That's exactly what they're going to try to do here against a high-powered offense like Hamilton Southeastern. Of course, when you look at the other side, it's Colin Crackler. He's been a mainstay, and that's a nice attempt there by number 2, Xander.
Earlier today, Carmel defeated Westfield to advance in the Final Four, 16-3.
Of course, we saw Westfield right here, and they're a team that were missing a couple of players, but still the way that Hamilton Southeastern took them apart that day, just forcing a lot of mistakes in that win. So after the missed shot by Culver, they'll work it now. That is Stephen Gray behind the cage. Good defense by Gavin Berry. Keep an eye on Berry today. Could be pivotal. Low shot wide to the right.
Ooh.
And Hamilton Southeastern will get it back once again.
How good was that official looking right at the line, making sure who was there first, and that was inches right there.
It was. Now, when you talk about Cracklers, you see Hamilton Southeastern now with an opportunity to go on offense. When you talk about Crackler and what a goalkeeper he has been over the last couple of years, just very solid. He's a big kid first off, so it's going to take a lot to get by, but he's quick up and down too.
Yeah.
So now here is O'Rourke, and keep an eye on him because number 4's name will probably called a lot today. Owen, a senior. He's working off that left side right now, but he's been able to come to the top. He's worked off the right side. Nice pass inside and a quick goal, and guess who? Unless they say he was in the crease and they wave it off. Boy, that's a tough takeaway right there. That looked like Gavin Berry might have been in the crease at that point. So take the goal away, and that would have been an early advantage there for Hamilton Southeastern. Jackson Ridgway. You see Culver now will set it up. Again, you mentioned a little bit ago how their offense has been very deliberate right now. They want to take as much time, have this be a low-scoring affair, but that is a turnover. Pass intended there for Hayden Delaney. We'll take a look at this once again as they took that goal away.
Ooh, that's
tough.
close.
Yeah, I'd say it looked like to me, but he might have had the 1 foot in the circle, and that probably cost him right there.
And if you're on that line, you're in the circle.
Yep. Hamilton Southeastern, you know what was amazing about the last time we were here when they were playing at home against Westfield was their ability to not only win the ground balls, they were winning the face-offs, they were winning the 50-50 balls. Everything certainly went their way, but they caused most of that. A Westfield team that just, when they fell down early, made kind of a little comeback early, but just unable to do anything against the Royals.
Oh, he's opening it flat. Missed the ball.
And that's rare. What you'll see right there is that one goes past midfield. So a rare turnover there for the Royals. We'll have a couple of changes in the lineup as well. Good look here at Adam Trumbull, just a sophomore. You look at this roster, too. And I know that Hamilton Southeastern is starting a couple of freshmen today, but this is a Culver team that really is very young.
Very young, but, man, do they have speed? They just showed that speed to you.
Well, you're going to see a Royal team that will do the same thing. If they can get out and run, they will be glad to put you down a man or two in their transition game.
Look at that.
Here's Ewing. See, and if there's nothing there, that shows you the IQ that you have with this Royal team. Is there's nothing there, they're not going to force it.
Well, with the seniors that they have, they've been there. There's no denying they want to put another ring on their finger, so they'll do whatever it takes. They were out here early this morning, just team building, which you got to love that.
By the way, I know you'd mentioned it was 75.
Yes, 75
start.
degrees. Yes.
But down there on the field, if you went down there, it's really, really very warm on this playing surface.
It's warmer than 75. I'm very comfortable with her.
I know you are.
I do enjoy the air conditioning.
That's all we care about, your comfort. Nice spin, and there's your first one of the day. David Gold, who is just a freshman, will get Hamilton Southeastern on the board. How about that? That is what the Royals do, and they do it well. Their passing attack can be just devastating. Take another look at this, and that was just a nice spin move. This is all gold right there. You get one-on-one. You had freshman against freshman, and that's a tough thing to do, to put your keeper like Bice in that kind of situation. So Hamilton Southeastern scoring first here in this opening period of play, and that's the one thing that Culver did not want to happen.
What a crowd on hand today, Troy.
Yeah, this is always a nice crowd here at Hamilton Southeastern to support. There are both boys and girls lacrosse
Girls
teams.
have advanced.
Yeah.
Girls are in the semifinals.
They were out practicing this morning as well. Culver again working behind the cage, but you see defensively there is Johnson, and another almost takeaways. That one will go out of play. It'll stay here with Culver.
You know, you look at this roster up and down, as you mentioned, Culver, a very young ball club. You know, the experience will pay off eventually, but the dynasty, and it truly seems like a dynasty right now that Hamilton Southeastern has had over the last couple of years because of that senior leadership. Coach Beasley real happy with the young kids that's coming on board as well.
Yeah, it's always next man up, and they've been able to do that. There's your double team. Good physical play by Hamilton Southeastern to get the takeaway. That was really caused by Brody Carlson, the junior defenseman there, to take it away.
Look at that pass.
See, here's where they will really benefit. They can get you down in numbers.
Oh, he had an open leg. Decided to pull it back.
Yeah. Saw something he didn't like.
That's a freshman that made that decision.
Yeah, the one who just scored the goal. So the Royals trying to go up 2-0. You know, don't let this offense fool you because, again, they're very good working and being very patient, but they can be very quick out of this too because they can roll behind the cage, and we saw that earlier when Gavin Barry nearly got the first goal. As you see O'Rourke outside the 12 on the attack, and the work behind the cage once again. They're very good here. Watch the cutter down one of the lanes, and that's what they'll be looking for time and time again. Royals again with the patience of Job right here on offense. They just do a great job of working it. Yep, there's a save.
Off the post.
Good job as Bice had a good angle on that one.
That hit the bottom part of the post.
There's a flag down from behind, so this will be a delay call here. Ground ball won again by the Royals. See, they've upped the offense a little more pace here. Good ground ball pickup there by Kai Trott. There's your ball to the middle, and it's going to be fumbled away there by Ewing. And picking up will be Bice. But the flag back at about the, 20, 30-yard line.
They're going to be shorthanded here?
Well, here's another advantage you would think that Hamilton Southeastern has today. They have a deeper bench. You kind of look over there at Culver. They just don't have as many bodies over there. And a hot day like today, that could be a big difference.
Yeah, when you have 30 plus on your roster and you come with 20, that makes a big difference. Again, the temperatures, though, are really, other than the turf temperature, really comfortable.
It is.
Especially for the fans.
Now, next week it might be a little bit different on Wednesday.
It's supposed to be 90 on Wednesday.
Yes. It's going to be a warm one. Royals back on the attack.
Ground ball. Got it.
Here's your long stick coming up with that one. So another turnover for the Royals, and now Culver trying to advance it. Ended up losing his stick. That was Barry, but there's a turnover the other way.
How about catching up on the defender?
Yeah. Even losing your stick and still able to
still get it.
Yeah, make a impact defensively. So here's a shot. That one also, I believe, hit the post on the right side. It got by Bice. Good physical play. And now the official will blow this one dead as you have the double team there for the Royals. Taking another look at that one. That was, I believe that one did hit the post as well. So you're looking at the Royals have had a couple other scoring opportunities.
Good 3 goals on shot.
Well, you can see they can really move the ball well. There's where
that
they can,
split right there.
Yep, they were down in the middle. That was Gavin Barry, and there you go. The ball moved extremely well, and you get the goal.
I got Max Kemp on the goal.
Take another look at it. Yep, it is Kemp. Kemp just a sophomore, so you've had a freshman and a sophomore scoring. That one coming at the 2:16 mark here in period number 1. The thing is about Kemp, he's been solid all season. You're going to lose some pretty good seniors on this team as the face-off won again by the Royals. Here's where probably Culver's thinking, you know what, we fell down the last time 4-0 early and never really got back into it. They need to finish out this first quarter strong. And we may have a timeout. Nope, they're going to call that against Hamilton Southeastern. So it'll go back to Culver.
Go back to Kemp. Kemp has 73 points on the year. I'll take that anytime.
Yeah, knowing
Goodness
you have
gracious.
him 2 more years.
Yeah.
Hayden Delaney there for Culver. And that's going to go against Culver. So here come Hamilton Southeastern. The Royals, this is where they can really excel. Put you down in numbers, and the low shot wide to the right, O'Rourke.
I think that got deflected. Number 29 deflected that. Luke.
Well, O'Rourke had a pretty good shot at that one. Well, look at this defense converging. That is a lot of speed right there. They try to force Delaney out of bounds. Delaney will find Van Peterson. Van Peterson, their leading scorer, and there's another high pass that is knocked away, and we've got a whistle against number 33. That is Caleb Johnson.
Extended the arm.
Yep. So we're under a minute to go here in the opening period of play. Winner advances next week to the semifinals. And before you know it, June 3rd will be here. That'll be finals day. And by the way, you mentioned already that Carmel beat Westfield earlier today, and they beat them soundly, too.
And the cool thing is we have all 4 games for you on Wednesday. 4 different teams, 4 different locations.
That is Carmel, who's trying to find an opening, and well, that one nearly thrown away. Yeah, Gray able to get that one.
Whoa,
boy, what a shot. That was Delaney on a shot that was deep.
Hey, Troy, I want you to stand in front of this net with this ball going about 60 miles an hour.
Can I?
And catch it with your hands.
Boy, another turnover, and that's going to be a goal. Good job by Hayden Delaney, just a freshman, able to come back and get the big goal they needed with just 15 seconds remaining. Well, that is huge if you're a Culver fan to get that one. Watch this. After the turnover, able to use it up the left lane, and once they pass back, defenders not in position, and just a little bit too much there for Kreckler. Well, they actually needed that one as bad as you could imagine. They almost waited until it was too late, but Culver able to cut that deficit down. We're down under 10 now. Nice move to the inside, and that's going to be deflected again, and we got a battle for the loose ball right in front of the cage, but time runs out before Hamilton Southeastern could get an opportunity to shoot on goal here at the end of the opening period of play. After one, it's Hamilton Southeastern on top 2-1.
We really focus on modern application development, DevOps, so automating the whole process of delivering your solution, and cloud architecture.
is very important for mid to large companies to have cloud partners, because you can't possibly have all the talent you need to address the complex ecosystem of the cloud.
We advise them on all parts of their business. And then when things are defined and we see a clear goal, Clean Slate also then goes and does the work.
We have a team that is very passionate about what they do. We love to solve complex problems, and there's a lot of companies out there that will avoid, getting involved in those things, and I think that's why clients like to work with us.
2-1 after the opening period of play, and we talked about maybe opportunities there for Hamilton Southeastern. They had a couple of their shots go off the goal and almost made this an early 4-0 lead. Here's that first one. That was a great spin move and the score by Gold, the freshman. But that was one of the most impressive ones you'll see in a one-on-one situation. And then they found that opening on that left side and got that second goal by Gavin Berry, who, by the way, almost had one earlier. And then this was the big goal right here with 15 seconds remaining. You see that some of the Hamilton Southeastern players, they left just a too open of a shot up there, and Kreckler unable to make the save there. But still, this is hey, we got a good one going.
Yeah, and Coach Beasley probably said in the huddle, you got to play all 12 minutes. You can't. We saw last year, Guerin Catholic St. Joe down 4 late, and rallied back and wins that game. So you're not out of it. And if you're Culver, you just won, because you have maintained a pretty level playing field here.
Yeah, well, and the one thing you've seen early here for the Royals, as we will switch sides for the face-off, is that you have seen some early mistakes by Hamilton Southeastern. They had a couple of turnovers, and so now let's see how they will regroup and get ready for period number 2.
Well, that helps.
Yep, win the face-off. I think that's going to be big the rest of the day, the face-offs, and certainly getting a lot of ground balls. And haven't seen a whole lot of shots on goal overall, but that may pick up here in period number 2. Gold and Kemp, the 2 goals here for Hamilton Southeastern. Delaney, the goal for Culver. When you saw that Hamilton Southeastern, this is what they do. I mean, they will pick up the tempo when they feel it is necessary, when they can get out and run and try to beat you back to the defensive end. They are very, very good at that. And they love to roll behind the crease. They can get behind the goal, and then they'll bulldoze you and find a lane in the middle, which has been big, like this right here. Once they start forcing the play, but good defense there by Culver.
That big stick makes a big difference too, though.
Yeah, long stick defender there. That is Holland.
Oh!
There's another high pass, which is, again, uncharacteristic for the Royals. That'll be a turnover. Ball at midfield, and finally the long stick there for Holland again, making a difference as they finally get it, as Ridgway will control it now for Culver. That's a low shot wide to the left. The attempt there by Cartmel. He is one of their leading scorers. They're able to get it back once again off the miss, and see a couple of changes again in both ways.
Look at the defense.
Well, they are very, very good.
They're very aggressive.
I mean, they will double team, which they haven't done as much today. We've seen it. There's a nice dive down the middle behind the back, and they got the goal. That is number 5, which is Van Petersum. And the senior will tie this game up at 2 apiece. That one coming at 10-11 of period number 2. And take a look at this one. This is beautiful. Number 5, Van Petersum, he's out of your picture right now, but once he comes back and gets the ball off this left side.
He actually called for the ball, didn't he?
Yeah, watch him dive down in the middle. There he comes, right there. And that's behind the back.
Behind the back,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's not
like
bad.
You did.
I used to do that
earlier
a lot.
in the morning. Yeah.
You got that right. So Van Peterson, who, by the way, is their leading scorer, able to get on the board, and all of a sudden things are tied up here in period number 2.
Van Peterson, 35 points on the season. 23 goals, 12 assists in 7 games.
Want to remind everybody that the first that you see on your scoreboard is actually the first half. We're in the second quarter. Another turnover there by Hamilton Southeastern. And so Culver, they feel really right now that they bounced right back after losing earlier this year. They fell down 4-0, but now we're tied at 2, and they're happy to set it up. Try to find a drive to the goal if they can find one right here and make it a 3-2 game. A lot of the fans are kind of quiet now for the Royals.
The momentum is definitely back on Culver's side.
Culver inside the 12, and they'll work it back out once again. Good look there at 25, Mason Smith. Smith, high shot as he rolled back to the inside and had a pretty good look from deep.
But Culver maintains the ball. Well, must be slick down there in that blue.
Well,
he's out of bounds.
He got forced out there, so I think he's okay. Cartmo is the one you're talking about who slipped behind. Now, this turf, if you walk on it, is really nice and soft, too, by the way.
I noticed you were taking a nap down there. You had your pillow.
It was a little warm, though.
I know you asked Doug for a blanket, but once you got used to that heat, you did all right.
I tell you what, there is no way, even though we've got some overcast skies right now, as you said earlier, it is really, you're probably thinking maybe 20, 25 degrees warmer. The roll inside, the bounce, and high. The good job there by Kreckler to stay with that low shot. Again, you're kind of glad now the clouds are here because it is really considerably warmer. You nearly saw another slip there, this time by Graham Ewing. Royals out front, and that's going to go against Hamilton Southeastern. So back over to Culver, and they're going to attack quickly. This is Jackson Ridgway. Ridgway, great speed, right down the middle. Ridgway makes it a 3-2 game. He went one-on-one. He created some space with his quickness, and once he did so, he scores at 7:33, and all of a sudden, Culver, 3 unanswered goals, and they lead at 3-2. Take a look at this one. His cut back to the right made the difference. I think that when you looked at Graham Ewing, he thought he was going to go to his left, and once he turned to the right, it was over.
And he shot that up high in the goal area as well.
So just like that, Culver.
Wow, they're going to let him play.
Yeah, they've let him. This is a very physical game. We head back the other way. That is Hodgson there with the pickup, and we believe got a timeout. Culver surprising everyone. They lead at 3-2.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Well, you see Culver right now, they're surprising a lot of people here at Hamilton Southeastern with a 3-2 lead. We're in period number 2. They've scored 3 unanswered, Delaney, Van Peterson, and Ridgway. After Ridgway made that nice move to the inside, found that lane, and pretty much just had an open shot, though Kreckler kind of left out of no man's land right there. So now, just the whole dynamic of this game has changed a lot.
A lot. But you know what? Senior-led teams, they won't panic here.
Well, after the timeout, good look there at Ridgway. You talk about the speed we see of Hamilton Southeastern. Ridgway kind of showed his speed and the ability to get that Culver offense into position. There's Delaney. Boy, he along with Ridgway can be very formidable out front. Good look again at Ridgway. Checked there by Wright. Now, whatever the game plan coming in for Culver, it has worked so far. In this one, because bottom line is, you know, you weren't favored coming in after losing the last time here.
It's taken 60 seconds off of this clock in this possession.
Yeah, being very patient. Can they find a shot here? They do. They go low on the shot. This time it'll be Van Petersum once again as he picks up his second goal here in period number 2. And they scored, by the way, just over a minute unless they took it away. I don't think they did. It's hard to tell if they did or not. I don't think so, but it certainly seemed like for the moment they might have, but they did not. So Van Petersum gets his second of the day. And how about this? 4 unanswered goals by Culver. Face-off one there by Gastineau. Gastineau losing it. It might have been tipped by Darius Holland, the long stick defender.
Yeah, but got whacked in the head. Penalty flag immediately came out. So this will be Southeastern's ball, I would assume.
I'll tell you what a change here when you figured that Hamilton Southeastern got those 2 goals.
It got quiet quick.
It got really quiet, yes. I thought for sure at that stage, and again, it really came down to that Delaney goal with 15 seconds remaining in the opening period of play and kind of gave them a little bit of life right there, speaking of Culver. But 4 unanswered. They only scored 4 the entire time the last time these two teams got together. Winding and firing, missing wide right. That's going to be John Pauls, who can't get that one to go through. By the way, he had a great game the last time we were here, had 4 goals that day. Can't find an opening, and now an extra defender coming down to help there for Culver. That shot's going to be in from the near side, and there is the guy that has been hot, Max Kemp. We say hot against a team like Culver. He had 5 goals the last time they got together, and take another look at this one. They work behind the cage.
I just like the patience.
And it didn't take him long, less than or about a minute to score. That's a tough shot there to defend for Bice. So back to a 4-3 game.
Oh.
Kemp now with his second goal of the day.
How about picking up the ground ball, knowing where it was going to go, and just rotating? He just sensed that they were going to win that faceoff.
Well, now the crowd's starting to get back into it a little bit here as they get that goal. Kemp, again, his second of the day, so he's got 7 goals against Culver in the last 2 games. This is the young man right here, Owen O'Rourke, that they'd love to get him going.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, it's been Russell Wilkinson. The senior's been pretty much keeping O'Rourke in check here today. Low pass picked up.
Oh, way to stay on your feet.
Yeah, that's Gavin Berry. Keeps the offensive possession alive.
That ball went behind him. He went after it. Pretty impressive.
On the attack, right side, low, shot, and score. Back-to-back goals. This time it'll be number 23 is Shane Gastineau. That comes at 4:27. You talk about quick goals. Gastineau went low. Tell you what, Bice is going to need a little more help on the defensive end. Watch this right here. There's too much of an opening. The one defender that was out top, that was Wilkinson. He didn't drop down, and that's just tough for a freshman.
They spread you out, though, Troy. They make you guard the whole entire side of that field.
So after 4 straight goals by Culver, back-to-back by Kemp and Gastineau, and all of a sudden we're tied at 4. Yeah, that's going to be big. Royals wasting no time getting back behind the cage. Max Kemp working there, and they'll keep an eye on him. He can be very dangerous. Nice spin. O'Rourke, left hand, yes! And that happened 20 seconds after their last goal.
That's Mooey.
Oh, is it Mooey?
Oh, yeah.
So Mooey right instead of Kemp. You're right. Well, no, that's going to be Kemp right here.
Oh, is that Kemp?
That is Kemp.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Kemp because he does a nice spin move back to his left and actually shoots that left-handed, so it is Kemp. Oh, it's O'Rourke. Yes, O'Rourke. Excuse me. So O'Rourke gets his first goal. So that came 20 seconds after the goal by Gastineau. So we've now seen Kemp score 2. Gold has a goal. O'Rourke and Gastineau now for Hamilton Southeastern.
Now a turnover.
Well, that is going to be big now. 5-4. We have seen now 3 unanswered.
Oh.
Very close to the sideline.
How about catching that when that ball was going out of bounds? Timeout.
So we've got another timeout. Hamilton Southeastern coming back strong. Goals by Kemp, Gastineau, and O'Rourke. They make it 5-4.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
That's pretty impressive. Not working. This stick's not working, Jerry.
5-4. If you tuned away for a couple of moments there and you were watching Culver score 4 unanswered to take a 4-2 lead, let's take another look at that last goal by O'Rourke. How he's able to spin here, and once he got by the defender, they tried to double team. They brought Hodgkin over, but there was no way he could get there in time. We have seen Ona O'Rourke do that, so they get him now going here in the second quarter late with 3:36 remaining. That's impressive. You go at 5:32, 4:27, then 4:07. That's just, again, how quickly that Hamilton Southeastern can change their fortunes because they are just such a quick scoring offense.
Hello to Tanner Alexander, who is watching us today.
So Hamilton Southeastern back on offense after that timeout. They have had more 8-meter opportunities in this one so far here today. Had 2 goals again. We thought maybe earlier, had a couple of those hit the post and another one that they had taken away. They were in the crease, so potentially 3 more on the board for Hamilton Southeastern, but they've adjusted very well after falling down 4-2. Good move on the right side by Gold. Gold went low, and I think he got another one. Let's check it. It is Gold, number 12. The freshman scoring his second goal of the day, and that's now 4 unanswered by Hamilton Southeastern. That one comes at 2:56. We're talking about within about 2.5 minutes, they've scored 4 goals.
Yeah, we said they didn't panic. Now they're just putting it on.
Man.
And their defense has stepped up, though, Troy.
Yeah.
They win the offense. You win the face-off. You're in control. You score. You can't get the ball back.
Yeah. I think, I'll tell you what, I could be way off on this as the Royals almost turn this one over, and they do. Because I just think they've kind of changed their philosophy a little bit on offense. They're going right at them.
Yep.
That's a bounce shot. A lot of contact on the shot there by Adam Trumbull.
We've seen some games where that would be like a card.
Well, not today. 6-4, 2:25 to go here in period number 2.
Been a good lacrosse season on IndianaSRN.
Yeah. We still have semifinals and state finals coming up.
Wednesday, all 4 games, semifinals.
We got Hamilton Southeastern. We've got Carmel. Who else do we have on that docket?
Heritage Christian is the number 2 seed in the other class, along with Buff, the number 1 seed. If they all win out, we'll have the 1-2 seeds.
Wow. That was Barry who fell to the turf. Boy, swinging the stick there. How about big-time Barry coming back?
I lost my stick. Wait a minute. Come back here.
Good look here at Wilkinson. There's a flag down.
That may be against Hamilton Southeastern.
Well, they hurry and get the substitutions on and off the field with only 90 seconds remaining here in the first half. Culver's trying to stop the bleeding now. They've given up 4 straight. We haven't seen, a lot of times in the games we've seen this year, when you think about what Hamilton Southeastern's been able to do, they'll just put you in the hole early.
Yep.
We haven't seen this wave as much as we've seen today where Hamilton Southeastern gets on top and then the way Culver comes back and now Hamilton Southeastern.
The other thing that I've noticed, we've done some college stuff. This team here is a lot physical than some of the college teams that we've seen played this year.
Yeah, they sure are. Well, Culver trying to do what they did at the end of the opening period when Delaney scored with 15 seconds remaining. If you're Culver right now, you probably feel pretty good about this. You're only down by 2. They were down 8-1 at the halftime at the first meeting back on May the 13th. Nice spin. Blake Manning in the lineup, another freshman there for Culver.
Down to 20 seconds.
Mason Smith winds, fires, and Kreckler able to knock it away. Nice save by Kreckler. And the whistle, we've got the flag that was delayed here, so that'll stop the clock at 15.8 seconds to go. Try to be nice to your halftime guest, will you?
I will. I'll be very nice.
Your reputation at halftime is sometimes not as stellar as it should be.
I threw all the questions you gave me. I just made up new ones.
You did?
Yeah.
Mine were more intellectual than yours.
Yeah,
right?
I'm talking about socks, the dress apparel, those type of things now. Because you got to be fashionable. Look at what I wore. I wore a tie today with my shorts.
You did. If that's your sense of a tie, you're in big trouble.
I am. This is it, halftime.
Yep, that'll do it. So Culver unable to get anything going at the end of period number 2. But how about this? You had 4 goals by Culver, answered by 4 goals Hamilton Southeastern. We are at halftime, and the Royals lead it 6-4. Your thoughts on what you saw in the first half?
Again, Hamilton Southeastern come out like I thought they would. Culver did not panic, really put pressure, and I think you saw another level of Hamilton Southeastern lacrosse late in the first half, and they showed why they're the state champion because they flexed their muscles and they did not panic, scored 4 right quick, and 2 of those goals within 45 seconds.
Yeah, did a great job. We'll come back. Our special guest at halftime, 6-4, Hamilton Southeastern leading.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At one point in my life, alcohol ruled supreme. It was not impossible for me to wake up just as drunk as before I went to sleep, and I use the term go to sleep loosely. I think on most nights it wasn't falling asleep, it was just passing out. There was no way I was getting out of it with my own willpower, so I decided to give Wheeler a try. And since my graduation from Wheeler's program, alcohol has not had any kind of hold on me whatsoever.
Halftime score here at Hamilton Southeastern. Hamilton Southeastern leads Culver 6-4. A good first half for both teams. With me now is Megan Ewing. She's the new president of Hamilton Southeastern Lacrosse, and congratulations. Heard it was a landslide.
Yeah.
Or did he just give it to you?
I was encouraged to run. So
there you go. I've been in that position. It's like, twist my arm. Talk a little bit about the association, because from top to bottom, it runs really, really well.
It's a parent-run organization for the most part. The coaches are so good and so talented and so invested in the program, and the parents love to step up and volunteer. We have a huge volunteer group. In particular, this incoming freshman class that is now, really involved. And so it's nice. It continues to evolve and continues to bring in a lot of volunteers, and from fundraising to just manning all of the different positions within it. It's nice to have so many people invested.
And with our relationship with your board, it's been really good the last 4 or 5 years. Coach Beasley's really easy to work with. Here's what he wants to do. Pass that on to you, and then you pass that on to us. And it's been a nice little partnership for a long, long time.
Oh, good. We've enjoyed working with you guys. You guys do such a great job. And
you were saying off the air that you watched the replays of the games.
I do watch the replays, and my family that lives out of state is always watching the games from afar. And you guys do such a good job. It's always really nice to hear the commentary.
Don't say that too loud, because Troy will want more money. Talk about you've hosted many events. Talk about the volunteer base. The concession stand's full. You got gate people. How many people does it take to run just a typical game? Not tournament game, but just a game.
A typical game, we're usually looking about 15 to 20 volunteers for every game. And
for that community, for the size of that community, that's pretty impressive.
It is. There's so many people that volunteer and help, and it's nice because everybody gets involved. It's not always the same people that are committing their time to it. And we have big fundraisers throughout the year. One of the biggest ones we do is we do a barn bash, and that's a great fundraiser for the organization, and it's nice because so many parents volunteer and step up for that.
And with you talk about the incoming freshmen, you got incoming freshman parents that understand that. Is that because of the lacrosse community at whole? Because the junior lacrosse program at Medsoc, I do believe, is pretty impressive as well. There's a lot of kids that come into this organization because of that.
Yes, the CATS program is our Fisher's HSE program that runs from the time they're little, from 2nd or 3rd grade all the way up until high school. And those parents there's a ton of parents from that organization here today. They always come and support the varsity team and the JV team, and it's such a good feeder program that a lot of times those parents will step in and volunteer when the high school teams need help. They'll step in and volunteer, and we reciprocate that as well, volunteering through the state tournament for them as well.
Because when everybody does it and it's going the right way, it's hard to stop the momentum.
It is. It really is, and it's such a community, and it's such a family. Our motto is always "we, not me," and that extends into the parents and the younger kids, and everybody loves to get involved.
Talk about your student body, because we've been to a lot of places, and the student body is not even close to what this student body is. Today, you see a lot of the students watching and looking at their peers. That's pretty cool.
There are a ton of students that love to come to these games, and in particular today, you look at this, and the graduates from last year, there's so many here today. Yep, yeah. They're all here. All the old players love to come to the games. And
saw a couple players in the concession stand and recognize who we were. It's like, Wow. He goes, yeah, I watched my goal. I watched the state championship last year.
Yeah,
Pretty impressive.
The student body, Coach Kelly on the football program does a great job of really encouraging, the teams, and the baseball team, they all come to watch. The girls lacrosse, everybody's really supportive.
Talked about the girls lacrosse. They're still playing.
Yeah,
which
they're
last
doing
year
great.
this time they wasn't playing. That's pretty impressive.
I know they're doing really well, and I know a lot of those lacrosse girls are here today from last year and this year that are still playing, and they're doing great. It's nice to see that continue to grow and thrive.
Yeah, you talked about the large fundraiser. When is that? Is that sometime this season, or will that be next
It'll
school
be
year?
next year.
Okay.
So we've done it in the fall, in November. We've also done it in February this year. We did it. And it's just such a great event. I mean, everybody has so much fun, and it's so hands-on, and it generates a ton of revenue for the program.
If there's a person out there who wants to be a sponsor for Hamilton Southeastern Lacrosse, how do they contact you?
They would contact Jerry Ewing, my husband. He is the director of fundraising and sponsorships for the program, and they can email him at jerryewing@comcast.net.
There you go. See, there's a shameless plug. I told you I'd get that on.
There you go.
Your goal as president, what would you want to accomplish in the next year or so?
I think my goal is to continue to grow the program and expose HSE and all of the talent within this community to, players that want to play at the next level, and continue to promote the coaches and the environment and the school, and just grow it and continue to be the force that we are and win another state championship.
I will tell you, though, IndianaSRN, because we do so much lacrosse, of high school lacrosse in the state of Indiana, the growth and the exposure, not only to your schools, but all the schools that we go, it is growing. Our numbers are crazy when lacrosse is being played.
It's got so much momentum now, and I think with the college programs getting bigger and more visibility, I think that's a big draw. So I think the sport in Indiana is continuing to
Pretty
grow.
healthy. Yep. That takes us to go start the third quarter. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
See, I told you it'd be easy. we'll take a break. We'll be back right after this.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Well, we are getting ready for the third quarter of this matchup. Again, the winner will advance to next Wednesday. And for the Royals, they're hoping to be right back here on their home field. But tell you what, if this Culver team can get something going here pretty quick, and they'll have the ball to begin this third quarter. Again, you just never know as quickly as they scored their 4 goals in succession and get right back in this.
I think they will have to score within the first two minutes to put pressure.
Well, they've been very deliberate on offense, as you see right there, nearly losing it. Mason Smith able to scoop that one up. There's a shot. That one may have hit the post as well, and Hamilton Southeastern coming away with it.
Oh, that on the bounce.
Yeah, look at the speed they can work the ball up the field. That is as quick as you're going to see in high school lacrosse.
That looks like our guy Joey Lindstrom back in his Butler days.
Yeah. Lindstrom only wishes he was that fast.
Oh, I hear he was quick. They called him Flash 2.
Yeah. O'Rourke down the lane, and did they get it? No, that one may have hit the post as well. That looked like Gastineau.
I think he trapped that at the post.
Hey, but a turnover there by Culver once again is coming up with a loose ball. There's Max Kemp. You do not want to give the Royals second and third opportunities. Kemp will work behind the cage. Now here's where you have to really be, your head on a swivel if you're a defender, because the Royals will send player or two down the lane, and you got to be able to figure out which way they're going to go. There was your pass intended there for Gastineau.
That's almost like a give and go to you, Troy. Oh, look at that scoop.
Outside the 12, hard check there by Ridgway, forcing that offense way out as get a good look at Jack Neff. By the way, we found out that defenseman Brody Carlson got injured in the first half. He will not be back, so that's a loss there for Hamilton Southeastern. At least from what we got, though, it may keep him out the rest of the year.
And that's a senior.
Yeah. Tough one to lose, especially when you look at how instrumental he is on defense. Good look here at Gold. Low pass, knocked away, just outside the cage, picked up. By the way, I believe a new goalie is in as Aiden Tuzik has now taken over.
So he tested the freshman, didn't like his result.
Well, he probably liked it up until Kemp and Gastineau, O'Rourke, and Gold got going again.
Especially within 45 seconds of the two.
So now back the other way. Good look here at Darius Holland. He's been big in transition. Holland's got that long stick, so it's a little bit harder to control than a short stick offensive player, so he'll give it up and then return back to midfield.
If Brody is watching, I'm sure Brody is watching immediately. Well, my young man.
Boy, nice save there by Kreckler.
Oh, he lost it.
Yeah, well, good news is he had somebody there with him.
I think he's asking for a new stick.
Well, the good news is he can go get one now, as you see Wright moving into position now for Hamilton Southeastern. Too close, and a low shot, and the score. There is David Gold again. The hat trick. 2 in a row now for Gold. That'll happen at the 8:50, should say the 8:35 mark. Boy, heck of a shot here, too.
And he has a new goalie stick. I think it might have had a hole in it, Troy. I think the ball comes right out of it.
Well, if it didn't, it was loose, and so you see, yeah, he did get a new one. Gold now with his third of the afternoon. That is now 5 straight scored by Hamilton Southeastern. Now we'll go to Culver as they'll pick up quickly. Changes both ways. As you get a look at Adam Trumbull. Trumbull had to wait for some help here. And now he'll leave, and Culver will try to stop the bleeding now. 5 in a row scored by the Royals. Good look here at Ridgway. Low shot, and the score near side, and that was Van Peterson once again.
He's got a hat trick.
Boy, what a day for Van Peterson. That coming at 8:07. It only took them, 28 seconds to come back and get a goal. Take another look at it. Just a low shot, low on that one. That's big. And boy, did Culver need that one after the 5 straight goals. Face-off won by Hamilton Southeastern. That is Gavin Wright. I think Hamilton Southeastern's kind of changed their philosophy a little bit. You know, they were
We're going to come get you.
Yeah, they've decided to attack, be a little more aggressive, but a bad pass here on the near side. You know, something that you think about more for next week, and if the Royals can make it to the state finals, there's a turnover the other way. Nice pickup, because you can't make these mistakes against really, really, really good teams. And you know Carmel's out there waiting.
Yeah,
so.
And you're at the point now where everybody is pretty much equal.
Yeah. Well, they change in the line again, as you will see the Royals work behind the cage.
Speaking of the state finals, they are at Roncalli this season. 10 a.m., 12:30, and 3:30. We'll be on the air at 9:45 with you on that game day.
That's a club game, the first championship.
Yes, sir. I think you're here all day. Are you?
15-minute pregame. Gee,
well,
you believe my producer, Jerry, it's a 15-minute pregame.
Well, I hear Jerry's going to be one of your guests.
Okay.
You know who we need to get to be our guest? It'll only take one question. That would be Jay Jones from the Heartland Conference. Okay, airtime will be now at 9:55, I do believe. But we'll have a sideline reporter on the championship game. Lee Cook will be your sideline reporter. Should be very interesting.
We'll let Lee do most of the work that way.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm going to put him out in the sun.
Yeah, back down to Lee.
Yeah.
Here's O'Rourke. O'Rourke trying to move back to the inside, and that shot is going to be wide. Gold able to pick that ball up off the stick from O'Rourke and nearly got another one. I think the sideline reporters really should work harder.
Yeah, especially during football when it's cold and snowy.
Yes.
I like you, Troy, a lot.
Here is Ridgeway again in transition.
How about this, too? The baseball state finals on IndianaSRN this year.
Yeah. I noticed that.
You're going to say it on the air, aren't you?
No, I won't say
Okay,
it.
good.
We don't have to pay this year to get in, do we? I think I had to pay last year. Well, Culver coming back with the Van Petersum goal and still within distance of this one. Only a 2-goal lead now for the Royals. It might open up a few eyes, though, for next week when some of the people that know lacrosse know Culver as good as they are. They haven't played as many games this year, but staying right in with a team that beat them as soundly as they did the last time.
Well, it's always hard to beat the same person once and twice.
That's going to go against Culver, so they miss an opportunity right there. Well, if you watch downfield, I was watching some of the Culver defenders like Van Petersum right there. He was laying on some pretty good hits at midfield.
Oh, he's not going to be stopped. Look at this.
Yeah, that's really too quick, and Culver's going to have to get back. Wide open shot, and the goal again.
Guess what?
Max Kemp.
That's Max's third goal of the day.
Well, as you alluded to, Keith, you cannot allow Hamilton Southeastern to move the ball that quickly. I mean, they got some good resistance at midfield, but watch this right here. Nobody even close.
And how about the walk-up music for every single time a kid gets a goal?
You like that?
Oh, I like the producer. Whoever's doing the music, whoever DJing is doing a good job down there.
So now Hamilton Southeastern leading it by 3. Little push there.
They call that push, but they don't call the one in the first half where the kid almost, flew in the air for about 4 feet.
Maybe they were looking at something else.
I guess.
When you were an official, did you
I
ever?
saw everything.
I know you did.
My head was on a swivel.
Looking at the crowd.
Afraid that somebody hit me. Especially my partners.
Yeah. Culver trying to get in position again, but another bad pass intended there for Van Petersum, and he can't come up with it.
I love the dive, though. Oh, he's got a cramp.
Yeah, they're going to have to call a timeout right here. Well, again, it is very warm from a standpoint of what is going on down there on the turf, and anybody that's been on the turf and played during a hot day, it can be really grueling. So the other bad part about this is Van Petersum's got to come out of the lineup.
And he's your threat.
He is. He's your biggest threat. 3 goals today. But you lose him now, so
the trainer will be over there stretching him out.
If anybody has ever had a cramp, if you get one in your calf or your thigh, it can be very painful.
Not fun.
And a lot of times you may not be able to come back totally 100% either. Coming up on the 4-minute mark.
Did you notice our producer is on Aileen? He was playing basketball the other day, slam dunk it, and it hurt his back.
Did he?
Yeah. Jerry was trying to do the 360 dunk.
I thought he was giving that up.
He's pretty good for his age.
Nice stick check there at midfield.
can tell this story. Kid coming in, Jerry goes, I'm the class of 1970. He goes, wow, that's old.
Nice pass in the middle, but good defense again there for the Royals. Able to disrupt Culver. Class of 1970.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. He was born in 78.
That helps. When you're the oldest, there's two old guys in the booth. When you're the two old
I got shut off and you just got censored as well. We didn't say anything about being, born in 78.
No. Doug's down there causing problems. I'm going to ask for another check.
Coming up on 3 minutes remaining here in the third. Low shot, and
save.
Nice job again by Kreckler. It's hard to beat him low because, again, he's got, his balance, you watch his balance all the time. He's just very good going low, and then if you try to shoot it up high, he's fast up high. That's why he's had the success he has had here for the Royals. I think that was a pass intended inside for Jacob Chapman. This is a roster, as we said moments ago, for Culver. See, there's another turnover and a low shot going to be knocked down. Good job defensively by Teddy Johnson.
Got numbers.
Yep. Here's the way they love to score right here. O'Rourke, nice pass inside, and another goal by Max Kemp, and give the assist to O'Rourke. That's a really unselfish play. Watch the quickness. This is what they do best. Able to get down the field as quickly as they do. And again, look at this pass right here.
And the thing is, he didn't have to make that pass.
No. So now Kemp has 2 in a row. Hamilton Southeastern has now scored 3 out of the last 4 goals in this quarter. Faceoff will be won there by Culver. Well, look at the defense. 3 white jerseys all over Hodgson, and he's just trying to find an opening. Here's Trumbull. Trumbull to the middle. Nice save by Kreckler. See, and that was still around just inside the 12-meter, but you've got to find a way to get it inside the 8 if you can, if you're going to be Culver and get some decent looks, because even if you're shooting deep on Kreckler, he's going to get 99% of them. He's that good because he has his vision is so good from that deep. Back to a 4-goal lead, though. Remember, at one time, Culver had scored 4 straight, took a 4-2 lead. Got to find a cutter. Looked like they had Chapman for a moment, and then they bypassed him.
They had space there, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they're creating good space. They're just not getting anybody cutting down any of the lanes to find a shot.
Nice save.
I was watching Quinn Shefferly, one of the defensemen there for Hamilton Southeastern, doing a great job laying on a stick.
What a check there.
When they wanted to go low there, Xander had not a great angle. They're coming up on a minute remaining now. Here's a high shot. You heard that one ping off the goal. How about Mason Smith? He had some zing on that one. Unfortunately, just off the mark. A little to his left and to the right there of Kreckler. They will attempt him, I would imagine, at this point to try to run out this third quarter. Good spin there by Delaney. One thing about it, you always draw a double team here. Watch, here's your double team again. Low shot, Kreckler knocks it down. That one out to
Ground
the 12-meter. Yep, and we got a flag down.
This is going to be Hamilton Southeastern.
Well, still an opportunity with 32.7
Officials getting together. Went down and talked to the officials, and 2 of the 3 were on a football crew for the Heartland Conference, knew exactly who we were.
Oh, good.
And said, tell Troy I said hi. Same crew we had 5 weeks in a row. Well, they said something about Jerry, but I don't remember what they said.
It wasn't good, right?
No, they all, people have comments about Jerry all the time.
Yeah.
Good ones.
Good.
We have those cards. What do you think?
You do?
You didn't know?
No.
That's why you're in the bottom 10.
Oh, in the bottom 10 now. I haven't even gotten to the top 10. I'm already down to the bottom 10. By that, the official on the outside threw that one. I mean, he threw it a long way.
Are they waving this off?
See, he's talking about. I think they're going to stay with it, though.
Hamilton Southeastern shorthanded.
Yeah, they're going to be a man down here with the last 32-7. I was trying to see who's in the. They got 24, which was Dalton Fertig, a freshman defenseman there for Hamilton Southeastern. So an opportunity here for Culver. Now you got to play a little zone here. Low shot and a big-time goal just inside the 12. That was number 19, John Michael Zimmerman. So now we've had 15 goals scored in this contest, and that was a power play goal there to get the goal at 18-1. That is twice we have seen now Culver score with less than 20 seconds remaining in a quarter. And again, only down by 3. Well, they're going to have to hurry here after the ball squirts away. It'll be Ridgway. We saw Ridgway earlier score once he got loose. And did they get it? I think they did. We're waiting to see if they will count the goal here. And they will.
Wow.
Back-to-back goals within 18 seconds. It looked like that might have been Xander. Yeah, that was Xander on the goal there with no time remaining on the clock at the end of 3. We got a game here, 9-7 Hamilton Southeastern.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Today's game brought to you in part, as always, by our fine sponsors, but I want to let you know that your biggest fan is here.
I know.
And she's going to do post-game, by the way.
Yeah, she's doing 45 minutes.
Yes.
Yep.
This broadcast copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Lacrosse Association for the private use of our audience. Use of pictures, videos, and audio without the express written permission of the Indiana High School Lacrosse Association and IndianaSRN is prohibited. You just saw that goal right there by Xander. Back-to-back goals within 18 seconds.
Pretty impressive. Getting kind of interesting. St. Joe leaves Center Grove 1-0, and that is the end of 1 down at Center Grove High School. You talking about a road trip.
Yeah.
That's a road trip.
Well, there are some eyebrows being raised in this one now. 9-7 as we're ready for period number 4. I would have never guessed, as you see Hamilton Southeastern working on the offensive side. David Gold has had a great game. I would have never guessed that they would have come back and scored those 2 quick goals.
It's interesting, they never give up, and the cool thing is we got a game, and there's a lot of people watching this and looking to see how good this Culver team was coming in here.
Again, that was a power play goal they scored on because the officials got together, decided the penalty was going to stand after some discussion. That's a shot a little bit wide there by Gastineau. So they get the goal, and they immediately get the face-off, come right back, and you're thinking, well, was 18 seconds enough? And the next thing you know is time runs out.
That ball went in the net at the same time the horn went off.
Yeah. And I know that some of the players were standing around wondering if they were going to count it or not, but for Culver able to bounce back the way they have, that was a high scoring. In fact, we've seen a high scoring second and third quarters here this afternoon.
It just tells you how good the competition is in Indiana.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Well, we do understand there were a couple of players that did not play for Culver in that first game. We don't know the specifics of who they were, but they have made a difference coming in this one here this afternoon.
Well, this is exactly what Hamilton Southeastern wants to do. Take time off the clock, shorten the fourth quarter, and limit Culver the opportunity to score.
Well, I thought I loved their success, though, of being so aggressive. As that pass is high, O'Rourke can't bring it down or take that back. That was actually Kemp. And see another turnover there in the
offensive end. How about that
end.
Defense right there?
Well, they're trying to force another turnover back the other way. And this would be a great example right here if Culver can beat them down the field. I tell you what.
Look at that.
I would imagine Scott Beasley said, you know what, we're going to be very aggressive on defense.
Did they get the timeout before the violation?
I believe that they must have, because both teams heading to their benches. We've got a timeout. Royals lead it by 2.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University.
Back here at Hamilton Southeastern 9-7, and Keith, you have something profound to say.
Well, I just noticed that Neil Diamond is on, and I know you do a pretty good.
I can copy him.
Do you want to?
No, I don't want to, because really? I have certain standards. I know you don't. When we're in Kokomo, it was
Kokomo in the baseball state finals. I was a mean. Take me out to the ball game.
Yeah, you always wonder why everybody left at that time.
Everybody left quickly.
They did. All right, after the timeout, here is Ridgeway. We got to be clean with it. Defended there by Barry. Well, 9-7, as we said earlier. Boy, you look at the earlier matchup and you think, well, you were down 8-1 at halftime, couldn't get the offense going, but Culver today, I think they've caught a lot of people by surprise with the 7 goals against especially a keeper like Kreckler. There's a flag down. That officials, he's been busy today.
We need officials in this league, so if you would like to referee one of these matches, I'm sure that you can contact the Lacrosse Association.
And is there a lot of running doing this?
Well, you could do a scooter.
See, I could. See, the reason I do basketball is because, first off, it's indoors.
And I've seen you work.
Yeah, and I don't have to get, hot out here on the turf. Now I don't have to run 100 yards or whatever. Nice pass inside, and the score by Cartmel. And Culver back to within 1. We're a long way from this one being over with, I'm telling you right now. Culver has played well today. Take another look at this one. Boy, the lane was on the right side like that. And boy, Kreckler just couldn't get back in time, but that was so quick.
Not bad for a sophomore.
No. So guess what?
It's 8-9, 9-8.
That is now 3 straight scored by Culver. It's going to go against Culver, so Hamilton Southeastern.
Oh, my
quickly.
goodness, it's just going.
Yeah, they want to move quick. Here's Gastineau, O'Rourke, and a missed play on the left side by Kemp.
He had him open the flat, too, Troy.
Boy, sometimes you find yourself playing a little faster than you
There you
really
go.
want to, but then forcing his way in and getting a goal. Great job by, was that
David
Kemp?
Gold?
Was it Gold again? It was David Gold, the freshman. Take a look at this. I mean, he literally just forces his way in between a couple of defenders.
Here's what I like. Look at this.
Wow.
He shoots the goal, and then he goes, yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, I'm there.
That's me. Yeah, he's not a freshman any longer. He's a sophomore.
Boy, and did they need that one, huh?
Big goal.
You know, they scored within 22 seconds of giving up a goal. Royals quickly back the other way. Here's O'Rourke. You know, here's the other thing. They've been doing this. I know O'Rourke has a goal today, but they haven't had to rely on him as much because he's been tough all year.
Here we go again. Nice, slow. We're less than 8 minutes to, right at 8 minutes to play.
And like you said earlier, now's a chance to run some time off the clock. You're up by 2 goals here, kind of put a little more pressure back on Culver.
Almost come and get us.
Yeah. Good look there at Jack Neff, number 9. Well, that shot just a little bit off the mark, the attempt there by Kemp.
You got to get out of the way, Mr. Official.
Hamilton Southeastern, short. Yep, they went short. That's O'Rourke from the right side. The Gold is there to pick it up at the end line.
Man, oh, man, oh, man.
Tell you what, Gold's pretty aggressive there, splitting a double team, unable to get any further. There's a whistle again. The officials will meet. And the one official going over to Coach Beasley, and I'm not sure again what this is the discussion about.
The flag is on about the 39-yard line.
Yeah, it's way back there. So they must have seen something that happened away from the play. We were talking about it earlier, watching some of the play at midfield, and there were many times that players are getting pretty aggressive off the play, but we have no idea what this one would have been.
I think they're waving it off. There's no indication over to the official scorekeeper.
And it looks like we may have a timeout.
We'll
take a timeout as well. Royals lead it by 2.
We really focus on modern application development, DevOps, so automating the whole process of delivering your solution, and cloud architecture.
It's very important for mid to large companies to have cloud partners because you can't possibly have all the talent you need to address the complex ecosystem of the cloud.
We advise them on all parts of their business. And then when things are defined and we see a clear goal, Clean Slate also then goes and does the work.
We have a team that is very passionate about what they do. We love to solve complex problems, and there's a lot of companies out there that will avoid, getting involved in those things, and I think that's why clients like to work with us.
Back here at Hamilton Southeastern, we believe that they waved off the flag. Nobody really knows what happened there, but then they got the timeout. By the way, next Wednesday, 4 semifinal matchups coming up right here on IndianaSRN. We'll be at different locations. Yours truly and Keith, still trying to get in the top 10. We'll be here, and we're hoping maybe that will qualify us to get there. But then we have the finals on June the 3rd. O'Rourke, low shot and a little bit off the mark. Able to bring it right back in and then score. That's going to be Shane Gastineau.
That's his second goal of the night.
Let me tell you what, if you're the keeper and you're Tuzik and you think, hey, listen, the first one, I don't know if it bounced off my body, if it bounced off the post, but then all of a sudden Gastineau right there, and he comes right back, shoots it wide to the right, and gets it by Tuzik. That's just a tough break.
And it's a rapid fire. I
Yes.
mean, it's less than 15 seconds. It was right back to you.
So Gastineau, 2 straight now by Hamilton Southeastern. Now they have a little padding here, 11-8.
This is a big face-off right here.
Neither one of them is giving in. You see everybody else trying to step in. You can
Oh,
only
look at
have,
that.
yeah, how about that? That's a big ground ball or big face-off one there.
That's pure strength right there, Troy.
Yep, that's Gavin Wright. Wright trying to find his way down the right side. Wright does his job, gets a nice hand from the crowd, and he's trying to fire up his
Look at the
teammates.
high fives that the coaching staff gave him.
That's big.
It is, especially with 6 minutes to play.
I mean, look, that'll be one of the longer face-offs you're going to see. I mean, they were both not willing to give that up. But now an opportunity here for HSE maybe to put this thing away under the 6-minute mark.
One of the biggest difference between the men's game and the women's game is the face-off.
Yeah, really is.
Well, that official almost has to duck almost every single time because that ball's coming right out of his head.
Well, that
Loose
could
ball.
be a big turnover, and it is. Ground ball picked up by Neff. Neff fires high and just off the mark. Who's going to get there first? They're going to say it will be Culver just by a hair. So now Culver's going to have to work really quick.
Ground ball.
Boy, 2 in a row. Those are 2 big mistakes by Culver. Nice pass to the inside, and that was almost like stealing. David Gold again. Give the assist to Gastineau.
David Gold has had a career today.
Boy, hasn't he?
1, 2, 3, 4 goals. And again, quick back-to-back.
Well, that's another turnover. Another costly mistake there by Culver. They had 2 turnovers in a row, and that one cost them big time because now you're thinking you're down by 4 with only 5:23 to go, and that was a heck of a pass by Gastineau, too.
Hey, real quick, we got to thank their camera guy for doing such a good job cutting the grass today and painting the lines.
He did a nice job.
He did.
He gets here early, makes it look very good. Well, right now, Culver in deep trouble. 2 straight turnovers. One of them cost them the goal at 5:23.
Brian always does a good job. He does it for Mount Vernon High School as well.
Cuts their grass?
Yeah, and paint the line on football Friday night.
I heard you talking football with Brian earlier about Mount Vernon's schedule.
He's the greatest hospitality host there is. Of course, I'm looking for money right now.
I can see, yeah.
Looking for more popcorn. That's.
Here
By the
is
way, the popcorn's been pretty good, by the way.
It looks like it's coming through the bag there.
That's Jerry ripping my bag.
I mean, I'm talking about the butter. You're not supposed to have butter, are you?
Good game going on.
So you've been cheating on your diet already today. Just over 4 minutes. Hey, Kreckler right there and a hard shot attempt by Mason Smith. Here they come. This is what they do best right here. Nice pass, quick inside. Oh, my, Max Kemp. That is what they do best. Kemp, his 3rd goal of the second half. What does he have, 5 on the day?
I'll check that for you.
That comes at 4:04. Just watch this. This is a picture-perfect pass. You got the goalie committed, and then you went high instead of low, and he had no chance.
Yes, he has 5 goals.
That is 4 straight now by Hamilton Southeastern. They have scored 4 goals in 4 minutes and 31 seconds.
That's incredible. And they're going to pick up this ground ball. Nope.
Good job there by Trumbull. Now Culver's going to have to really hurry. See, they've got to do now what Hamilton Southeastern has been able to do.
Under 4 minutes.
Yes, and that's going to be tough, because that means to me you've got to get a lot of 8-meter attempts here and nothing outside of that. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really tough against Kreckler. This is Zimmerman. Spins and scores low. How about that, huh? You wanted a quick goal? They gave you one. Zimmerman, his second goal. That comes at, again, 3:28. Well, look at this one. He does a nice job spinning again. And once you turn and shoot low, that's awful tough to stop. You're able to create that space back to the inside. Of course, we've seen that both ways.
And they have plenty of time, because we've seen goals quickly.
Yes.
Today.
Well, they scored 2 goals at the end of the third within 18 seconds.
Yeah.
They scored another goal back in the opening period, you may remember, when Delaney got the goal with 15 seconds remaining. But you're still down by 4, and if I'm Hamilton Southeastern, something you said earlier, they're going to use a lot of clock right here. Force Hamilton South, should say force Culver to come out and maybe play a little bit wider. Look how much space there is in there.
A lot more space.
That is O'Rourke.
And now we're down to 2:48.
Yeah, they're just not going to be in any hurry right here.
I don't think they're going to look for a shot. I think Scott Beasley thinks he's got enough points to win this thing.
Well, I would imagine that, and again, you're so spread out here. This is what Hamilton Southeastern would love you to do, just give you a big, wide-open lane. But it'd be no different in basketball or whatever. I mean, you're not going to score unless you get a layup here. And O'Rourke, see, that's what I'm talking about.
There's your layup.
Yep. And O'Rourke found that lane down the right side, and the next thing you know, you create the space, and you get the goal.
Owen's second goal of the day.
Yeah, look at the spacing here for O'Rourke. Once he makes that move to the inside, there's nobody there. The defender behind the cage, that looked like it was Darius Holland. There was no way he was going to make it around.
14-9. Got a timeout. Culver.
Well, it's a 5-goal lead and only 2:24 remaining.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Real quick, want to thank our producing team, producer Jerry Collins and Chuck Levine, and new guy, Stick Morales, in the booth today.
You know, he's kind of like an AI guy, artificial intelligence guy. I mean, he can do it all.
I tell you what, he can eat some food, though.
I bet he can. He looks like he could use some. Real skinny.
Yeah, he is skinny. He's not as skinny as Sticks, but he's pretty close.
Very close. Face-off, and HSE with the win again here, perhaps.
Lost a goal.
Well, and that's going to go against.
So if you lose your stick, you can kick the ball anywhere you want?
No, I don't think you can, but I guess you can if you can
get away with it.
Yeah, the official doesn't see it.
I guess.
See, there's a turnover right there for Hamilton Southeastern.
Maybe the second one today, though? I mean,
well, they had some early in the first half that cost them a couple of times. I think they really did a nice job cleaning that up.
Also, the Hamilton Southeastern crew, the whole entire, Doug Trout and his whole entire staff and the crew always treats us right, always nice people. Thank you so much for your hospitality, and we can't wait to see you on Thursday. Tuesday. Is it Tuesday?
Wednesday. Yeah.
Ah.
That one off the post. So Hamilton Southeastern plays the winner of
That's right.
Okay. Very informative.
Center Grove and St. Joe.
Okay, but St. Joe was winning the last time we heard, right?
3-1.
4-3. There's a shot wide to the left by Delaney. So South Bend St. Joseph making that long road trip. They're going to have to get back here and do it again on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think they're out of school, so that will help a little bit with travel. I think that's a 7 o'clock start on Wednesday.
Okay, very good. Well, that ought to be a great matchup. Hamilton Southeastern trying to punch their ticket again. Shot wide to the right. Get themselves back in the state championship game. That's intercepted.
Oh, what a hit.
Now there's your flag.
Yeah.
There's another flag on this side. You can literally just run this thing out. 53 seconds remaining. And they will now stop play. We got 3 flags down right now.
I think they all 3 saw the same collision.
Well, we got 4 actually. 1, 2, all 4.
All 4.
Got 4 flags.
Yeah, but 3 officials.
I know. Who has two flags?
Usually, now in football, you have 3 flags.
You do.
You put 1 in your belt, 1 in your back pocket, and 1 on your up on top.
In case you need them all.
Well, sometimes you even have to use your hat.
Yes, that's true. We've had a couple of meetings here this afternoon. I think this is going to stay with HSE.
I like the kid that's tried to scoop up the flags and hand them back to the official.
Yeah, Xander.
Here, take this.
Culver loses this one, and it looks like that's going to be the case. They need a miracle here, down by 5.
It was good working with you today, Troy.
You as well.
Always enjoy it. Work with the bottom half of the
yeah.
talent.
I thought if I could put in a little more time, I'd get at least to number 11 or 12.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You watching the race tomorrow?
I don't know.
You got a prediction?
No, I don't.
Okay. You want my prediction?
Somebody's going to win?
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Poncho Carter.
Poncho Carter.
Out of the 36th roll. And
Is he still even racing?
Poncho? No.
I was going to say, I didn't think he was.
He's a spotter, though.
Oh, good.
Yeah. That's what I want to do.
I would like to see maybe – who's the driver who's retiring?
Tony Kanaan.
Tony Kanaan.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, Tony Kanaan used to live over by me. He lived in Wayne County. Yeah.
Debbie's a big fan of Helio Casanevis. Yeah. If I said his name right.
We had an announcer one time. We heard him say Castrobonis. I don't know how did they come up with that?
I have no idea. But the race is on that small track over on the west side of Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's not very big, is it?
No, I think it's like 2.5 miles. I think it's all dirt.
Yeah.
Or a little bit of bricks.
Kind of run down.
Yeah.
Why are we meeting for this long?
I don't know, but at 47.6.
See, I think that's why for Wednesday, do we have a sideline reporter, correct?
We do not on Wednesday. Just on the finals.
Yeah, why don't you do it?
Yeah, I could do sideline reporting, and you could stay up in the booth.
I could. You could run out there.
I could run out there and do that for you.
Yeah, will you?
Well, I might do that. I'll see if that's okay with Doug, and we'll get that.
Let's just live mic them.
That would be good.
Okay.
At
least one of them.
I'll put that on the agenda.
Okay.
Chuck, work on that now. Chuck's
knew
the executive producer for us.
I think Chuck's going to Carmel, though.
Yeah, Carmel's. Chuck's got his own crew.
You know, after all of that,
we got 45 seconds.
We don't know exactly what happened.
That's okay.
Well, this is going to be run out. Culver now has kind of said, you know what, we've done everything we can. A great effort today, coming back several times to make it close. In fact, it was 9-7 just a few moments ago, and then all of a sudden, goal, Gastineau goal, Kemp all scored 4 in a row. Then O'Rourke came back after the Zimmerman goal. But for Culver, just not enough today.
How about this crowd, huh? That's awesome.
Well, there's no doubt about it. They love their boys lacrosse, girls lacrosse here at Hamilton Southeastern, and they are quite a staple when it comes to lacrosse in the state of Indiana. But I'll tell you what, it was an entertaining game from just the standpoint of Culver just kept coming back, and really Hamilton Southeastern had to work for it today, didn't they?
Yeah, they sure did. And again, if you tune in Wednesday, we'll have everything hopefully by tomorrow afternoon on our Twitter account to let you know the crew and the times of all those games. So stand by at IndianaSRN.
What a day, though, for the youngster David Gold, only a freshman. He scored in the opening period. He scored again in the second quarter. He scored again in the third quarter. He scored again in the fourth quarter. He just had a heck of a ball game today, and just to certainly credit him. And you know what I liked about it, too, about Hamilton Southeastern? It was a balanced attack.
Yep.
Even on a day where O'Rourke got a couple of goals, but he didn't really have to he didn't have to score the 8 goals he did, in one of their other games earlier this year. But they got so many weapons, so many different players they can go to. And, of course, keeping helped as well. And Colin Kreckler, maybe not his best day with the 9 goals, but still he's going to be ready for next Wednesday. So, again, don't forget, Wednesday, all 4 games will be right here on IndianaSRN. Your final score, Hamilton Southeastern 14, Culver 9. Thanks to the entire crew. Thank you for being with us as well. This has been Indiana Boys Lacrosse right here on IndianaSRN.